Hello, hello. This is ajhoge of Effortless English. Welcome to the Effortless English Show, episode number 3. As usual, let me check the audio and video first, make sure everything's working. Then we will begin. So let me just check and make sure it's all working. And today on the show, we have a guest, at least one guest, hopefully 2 guests. Our first guest will be Julia, one of our superstar VIP members. She'll be talking about her experiences with Effortless English. And then our second guest is supposed to be my dad. Seems to be working. Okay, our video, everything seems to work. So the second guest today is supposed to be my dad. However, he's not signed in right now. So I don't know. Hopefully he can figure out how to join this. So if there's a problem, if my dad does not join this week, then we can try again at another episode. So he still has about 15-20 minutes to figure it out. So hopefully he'll do it. So okay then, let's get started. As usual, let's begin with the code, the mission, and the values, just because these are the heart of Effortless English. Effortless English, of course, is a system for learning to speak English powerfully. It is more than that, however. It's also a system of independent learning, of lifetime improvement, lifetime education, lifetime growth. So while learning English, we also learn a lot of other things about success and happiness in life and strategies for continuous learning that never ends. So the code, the mission, and the values are the thing that guide us in that bigger mission. Our code is simply how we behave with each other. So number 1, we do the best we can. That just means we do our best. That means that we don't worry if we're not perfect. We don't get too crazy if we make a mistake. We understand mistakes are necessary and unavoidable. But we try our best. We do our best. Number 2, we do the right thing. So that means that we're generally positive. We don't insult other people and say nasty things to other people. We don't steal and just, generally we act like good, decent human beings, positive human beings. And number 3, we show each other we care. This is probably the most active one. We show each other we care. It means it's not just passively avoiding bad things. It means we actually say nice things to each other. We encourage each other. We encourage other members, other crew members, other VIP members, whatever. We encourage people. We help each other get stronger, feel better, feel more confident. That's our code. Our mission describes our large purpose, our deep purpose in the world. And that is to explore new opportunities for growth, to bring confidence, vitality, and happiness to people all over the world, and to boldly go where we have never gone before. Let me briefly explain each part of that. To explore new opportunities for growth, it means we're always looking to explore new opportunities to learn. Growth, in this case, means learning, means internal growth, right? So always looking to continuously learn as long as we're alive. To bring confidence, vitality, and happiness to people all over the world, that's about contributing. It's about contributing to other people, to the world. It means that we ourselves build our own confidence, our own health and energy, our own happiness, and we also help others do the same when we can. And then to boldly go where we have never gone before. Literally, that means to travel the world. I mean, we're learning the international language and using the international language, English, at the moment. So let's use that. Get out there in the world and meet other people from different parts of the world as best we can. And it also means internally, go where we've never gone before. It means try new experiences. Be open to new ideas and new experiences. Finally, Effortless English has a set of values that keep us all together, something that we all agree on. It's our culture within Effortless English. Number 1 is devotion, our first value, devotion to the mission I just said. We have a purpose, a shared purpose. That makes us a crew, kind of like a ship's crew or a film crew, a group of people working together on a shared purpose. Second value is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm just means an excitement for life, so that we're not bored by life. We're excited to try things, to learn, to do things. Third value, constant and never-ending improvement. mentioned in our mission too. Constantly learning, learning and improving. Constantly learning and improving. All parts of life. Number 4 is contribution, also mentioned in our mission. Contribution means doing things for yourself, certainly, but also for others. Contributing to other people in a positive way. Number 5 is self-reliance. Self-reliance means we're independent as best we can. We rely on ourselves first. We don't wait for other people to save us. We don't wait for other people to tell us what to do. We don't wait for other people to give us what we want or need. We actively go and do those things ourselves. We take responsibility for our own lives. We are self-reliant. Number 6 is persistence, meaning we do not quit. When something is important to us, we don't quit. We keep trying, we keep going and going and going and going without quitting. And number 7, positive leadership. Means as we do all of these things, we become leaders. We can lead by example, by the way we live our lives in a positive way. And those are our values. And that then, briefly, the code, the mission, and the values of Effortless English. All right then. So let's go on to Effortless English News. The news, this is just a short little segment where I talk about what's happening, what I'm doing, what's happening in the Effortless English world. So main thing I'm doing right now is editing. I'm still working on the live event movie that I'm doing, film. So we recorded my live event last month in Hanoi, Vietnam. So we have a lot of video, many hours of video. I also recorded several hours of video before the event, showing what I was doing before the event, showing my preparation, my thinking, my worries, my concerns, all of this stuff. And now I'm putting it all together into one big video. It looks like this video is going to be longer than I thought. It might be a total of an hour and a half, maybe. I have edited now probably about 75% of it for the rough draft, the first cut. It's just the first edit, which is always long. So my first edit will probably be about 2 hours long, something like that. And I'm changing the order a little bit. Then I'll take a short break, and then I'll go back and I'll do kind of follow-up edits, revised edits. And I'll start cutting it down shorter, 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 trying to keep things a little more interesting so it's not too long. And then eventually, once I edit it and I do several revised edits, when I'm happy with the final cut, then I have to adjust the audio, and there's a lot of stuff to do. But when that's finally done, then I will make a whole course using the movie technique and extra material, lots of stuff we'll be adding to make a full course, and we'll call that AJ Live or something like that. That course, all of that will be ready, I'm guessing, towards the end of the year. It's going to take a while to do all of this. So anyway, I'll give you updates each week as I work on this project. Something that's happening much sooner is that my original Effortless English course is being re-released. It's becoming available again on our website. It's been off our website for a couple years now, and I've decided to release it again. So we are getting text for everything. See, the original course is the first course I made, and we had transcripts, we had text for a lot of the audios, but not for all of the audios. Now we're going back, we're making sure every single audio has text, and we're organizing it again, redesigning the text a little bit, and that should be available next month, actually, pretty soon. I'll announce it here and let you know. Probably give listeners to the Effortless English Show a discount on it if you're interested. I'll be sending out emails, and we'll do a whole big launch, a re-release of the original course. So that'll be coming soon. And that's all the news. My dad has still not joined, so I'm guessing he's having problems. Yeah, I can't sign out because that'll cause problems for you guys even bigger. So if he can't figure out how to join, just have to try him next week. But we do have another guest who is waiting right now, and we'll go into our next segment, which I like to call Effortless English Success Stories. And this time, we'll let somebody talk directly to you. You don't have to listen to me talking about someone else. Instead, we have our superstar VIP member, Julia, with us, and she's going to talk about some of her experience with Effortless English, I'll chat with her for about 10 minutes. Julia is from Italy. She has been a member for a few years. I have to ask her exactly how long, but she's, I think, almost 3 years now. She started, I believe, with the Power English course, and she has been a very, very active member of our VIP program and continues to be. She's a major leader in our community. You'll see her on Twitter a lot, answering and helping some of our members. You'll see her on our VIP site if you're a VIP member. So let's go to Julia. 1 second. Julia, I'm going to get you back on the broadcast here. See if we can get this to work. Everyone cross your fingers. Let's hope it works. Google, please help us. Please work. Is it going to work? Is it going to work?
Okay.
Oh. Hello.
Yeah.
Yay!
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's working.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really dying of fear, but so happy to be here to talk to you and all the Effortless English crew. Yeah! And then, thank you. Thank you so much for all the courses. I'm going to buy the original lessons too. And I look forward to do it because I love your courses. They are really interesting for me. I started exactly on February the 8th, 2011. So it's about 3 years. I will celebrate my 3rd birthday in Effortless English because it's about 3 years that I listen to your lessons every single day without skipping one. Really.
So you, in the past 3 years, you've listened to Effortless English every single day?
Yes, every single day. And the first period, I didn't know. Actually, I had not the habit to listen, so I made a simple thing. I wrote on a paper all the cell and put the date of the week, the day of the week in each cell, and then at the end of the day, I put a cross in each cell, so I was sure to have listened those days. And then after Power English, so after my first 7 months, I think, that I was learning, I didn't do it because I had the habit and I couldn't forget. But actually, the first time I do when I wake up is listening to your voice while doing breakfast, while having breakfast, and while preparing to go to school. And then I go to school still listening to your voice, and my students all know I'm listening to you because I make them listen. I'm studying English. I say, this is my American teacher. And I really love your lessons because I've always loved English, but I have to say that while math was very easy for me in school, English was hard. And I couldn't learn it. I had to struggle a lot in school. And I couldn't understand why I was studying hard, but I couldn't learn it. I thought this language is really different from my language, and I will never be able to speak it. But I love English, so I've always tried to learn. I did my best. I've always tried to do my best, but the results were really poor. I couldn't speak, and I couldn't understand native speakers. That's the first trouble I had. But then, after many, many years of struggling, I found your courses on the website, and this was amazing. Actually, at the beginning, I thought, oh, this teacher is really different. He's a kind of crazy teacher. He jumps, he makes me do all these moves. And the first time you said, do the moves with me, I said, no, I don't. And I just watched and laughed all the day long. But then I wanted to try because, I don't know, you have a certain power of convincing me to try. And I tried and it worked. I could remember all the words easily, and I had a lot of fun doing it also. So after this first trial, I started trusting you. And actually, that's what I did. I had faith in your method. I believed that it was a different method, and I wanted to test it and to try it completely. So I just tried to follow all your rules. the 7 rules first, and then while listening to Power English, I found out that you also suggested other things like things to be more healthy and to start enjoying reading and things like that. So I tried all your suggestions. Thank you for them, because some of them I still repeating doing. I tried just for curiosity, and many times I did new things for a week or a month. But then the most important things, the ones I really enjoyed, I went on doing them for all of my life. I'm still doing some of them. And so my English has become better, but I'm not studying with none of the old methods. Actually, I just like listening, watching your videos, and following all your crazy stuff, your new ideas. But I don't use even the text if I can. Only if I'm desperate and I don't understand, then I can watch the text. But normally I try not to read, because in school I learned English on books, and so I could read English, but I couldn't understand the words when I heard them. Even the words I studied and I knew, I couldn't recognize them, because when spoken they were different from the one I remember written. So I try to avoid reading first. I try to listen first, and that was a great experience, because I decided to listen just to one teacher. I choose you, AJ. So I listened to your lessons only to study English. Then maybe to have fun, I could listen to someone else's videos or something on YouTube, tutorials, something like that. But to study, I just decided to follow just one teacher, you, and to listen your English. So I have all your words in my mind. I can, and your lessons are so great, because I didn't need the dictionary. Actually, I didn't need to read the text. I can say 99.9% of the times, because you explain when speaking, you say the same thing in different ways, so it's easy to understand from context. And that's what I try to do. Just listen, 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 listen as much as I can. And then at the beginning, actually, when I think about this, it makes me laugh a bit, because at the beginning you said in Power English that we had to listen for the same lesson one entire week. And for me, this was so long time, because I could understand easily everything. And then you said, if you understand everything, and I was waiting for you to say, you can skip this and go to the next lesson. But you said, listen to it for 1 week as well. And I said, oh, how is that I have to listen if I can understand? So at the beginning, this was a difficult idea to accept, especially because in school, all is different. Maybe it's all is shallow, I have to say. We study a lot of things, but just not the main thing, just a few of many things, but not deep. We study in a shallow way, a lot of things for a very short time. And actually, after when I studied the second lesson, I have just forgotten the first. So it's not a deep learning, as you say. But I didn't know about your method. So the first time, it was so strange for me. Listen for 1 week. If I can understand everything, why I have to listen? But I did it as well. And now it's funny, because I listen for 1 month, every lesson. The ones I like, I can listen more than 1 month. But it's not hard work now. I like it, because I've developed this way to listen and deeply, not only try to understand, but also listen to the way you pronounce each word, the way you speak while laughing. Very nice sometimes, because when laughing, you don't pronounce clearly, so it's difficult to understand the first time. But then after listening many times, I can understand when you speak while laughing, while talking fast. And these are little words, sometimes 2-3 words that you put together very fast. And the first time I listen, I don't understand those 3 words, but I understand the whole meaning. And then listening carefully, I can understand each and every word you say. And so this is great. Then if it seems also easy, I do another thing which I like very much. and it is speaking together with you, trying to do it at the same time. And I can see that sometimes I think, oh, I can understand everything. I know this lesson, but then I try to speak together with you, and I cannot do it. My tongue twists, and I cannot say the things that you're saying as fast as you are. And so this is another exercise that I do all the month long. I just speak together with you, and at the beginning it's not so easy, but at the end of the month I can speak. Sometimes I can also say something before because I know everything by heart, so I don't even wait for you to speak. I speak before you, and this is my big revenge at the end of the month. I'm joking. It's all very nice. I have a lot of fun with your lessons. They are so great. And the last mini story, by the way, is so funny. I didn't understand that it was the first time I thought, oh, AJ is using the same material, the same idea. I catch a number, I know this name, and then the rat, I remember the rat, the gold, the temple, I know this story. Then I realized it was the same, and it's great, really, really, really great.
Yeah, there's more of those are coming.
Wow, I'm looking forward to listen to them.
I got to record the next one, in fact, yeah.
Great.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I think you really, summed up a lot of the kind of important ways to, improve with Effortless English. In a minute, I'll kind of talk about what I think the key things you did that were important. But thank you so much. It's so great to have you.
Yes, thank you, Jay. Thank you very much.
All right, and I'll have you back on the show again sometime in the future.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
You're the best, really the best teacher I've ever met.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being a great leader in our crew, I guess we should say. And I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much. I love everybody in the crew. They are all my best international friends.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, now I gotta see, how do I do this? Oh, technology. I think it's working. Did it work? Yes, okay. All right, so that was Julia. I think a lot of you probably already know Julia. If not, there she is, Julia from Italy, one of our great VIP leaders and members for several years, in fact. So, she just gave us a very good success story about her story with Effortless English. And I think the thing that she did best and most, and the thing that you should learn from her experience, is deep learning. She said when she started Power English that she was listening to the lessons, and she thought, oh, listening to the same lesson every day for 1 week, 7 times or more, she thought, oh man, it's too much, oh, I don't want to do that. And she thought, oh, maybe if she understood everything, she could go faster if she wanted to. But then I said in the audio, in the course, I said, no, don't go faster. Even if you understand everything 100%, you still need to learn deeply. You still need to keep listening every single day, 7 days or more. And eventually, Julia decided to follow this, and in fact, she even went beyond, because she started listening to lessons more than 7 days. And now in the VIP program, she'll listen to the same lesson set for 1 full month. And she gave a great example of how you can use deep learning. She just listens, and then she answers questions in the mini stories, and then she started listening. Then after several more days, she'll focus on my pronunciation, and then maybe after several more days, I can't remember if she said, she might pause and try to repeat what I'm saying exactly, and then after several more days, she'll actually try to say it at the same time with me, so that she's saying at the same time, and then by the end of the month, she tries to say the lesson, the audio, faster than me, even faster than me. Tristan, because she's remembered it so well. So she's learning each lesson very, very, very deeply. And then she mentioned, we were talking about the story with the rat. That's from our new VIP lesson that came this month. So VIP members know the story about the rat. And there's some more stories coming. It's connected to a story I did earlier. So, I think that's an important lesson. And this is something that is true for not only Julia, but for, I would say, most of our most successful members. Our most successful members learn deeply. They follow that effortless English rule very carefully. In fact, the best ones, the best members tend to do what Julia did, which is they actually go more slowly. They learn even more deeply. And the people who don't do so well are the ones that try to rush through. They try to go fast. Oh, no, oh, 3 days is enough for one lesson. I know it all already. And then they try to rush to the next one and rush to the next one. And they think they're somehow, you know, doing something by going faster, and that's better, and it's not better. Going more slowly, learning more deeply is much more important. Julia also mentioned that, you know, she gave that example in the beginning of how she, you know, she would listen in the morning when she got up. She would listen on her way to work. She would find all her little free time during the day and listen whenever she could. So you can spread your listening out through a whole day like that. Whenever you have a little free time, listen to Effortless English. Sadly, my dad is not here. I'm guessing he had some technical problem trying to join. Let me just check really quickly, but I think that he's not going to make it. See with this. Yep, I've invited him. You added George Hogan to the Hangout, but my dad is not. Oh wait, my dad maybe is. I don't know. I don't know where he is. Can't seem to. Let me see if I can find it. He might be on here somewhere. Let's just find out. But I don't think my dad has joined. He's scheduled to join, but can't seem to find him. Yeah, looks like my dad's not gonna make it today. Oh well. So that sucks. Okay. Oh well. So nope. I'll just keep talking then. Move on. So my dad was going to be a guest on the program. We're using this Google Hangouts program to do this show, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like he was able to join. So he was my dad. His name is George Hogue, and he and I together made a program called Business English Conversations. And I was going to talk to him probably about business and business English. So what happened was that, I guess it was a little over a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago. I was talking to my dad. He's retired now. He used to work for IBM. He was a business executive. He has a master's in business. And had a long career in business. And then he retired and, you know, seemed to be relaxing and enjoying retirement. But we started talking. And, you know, I was always talking to him about Effortless English and just what I was doing. And at some point, he said he was, you know, kind of missed working a little bit. You know, he missed having contact with people and doing something. And I started thinking, and then I kind of got the idea that we could do a set of a course, a business English course together. So I called my dad, and we talked about it. He was very excited about it. And at that time, I was in Hawaii. We were living part-time in Hawaii, my wife and I. And my dad came to Hawaii, and we recorded the Business English Conversations course. And then we launched the course. We released the course last year. And we had a very great start. Lots of people joined. It was a success. And now we have this Business English Conversations course. Now, he and I were talking about making a second Business English course, and possibly focused on management and leadership, business management topics. And, you know, that's businessenglishconversations.com if you want to check that out. If you're interested in business English specifically, as usual, just as with Effortless English, we decided we wanted to do more than just teach business English. Because the truth is, business English is just vocabulary. You know, business English, the grammar is no different than regular English grammar. So it's just vocabulary, basically. You're just learning some business vocabulary. And we thought, well, we can teach business vocabulary, but we should do it in an interesting way. Let's talk about useful business ideas. Let's talk about and teach business ideas that will help people get better jobs, have a better career, make more money, get, you know, promotions in their business, be a more successful business person. And so this course teaches you business English, and at the same time, it teaches you business ideas to help your career, to help your job, to help you be a better business person in your life. And I think, as usual, just as with Effortless English, that's the part that people get most excited about, is the ideas. So it's an interesting way to learn business English instead of the old traditional way. Most of the people out there teaching business English, they're just teaching vocabulary, and it's really boring, in my opinion. But some people maybe like it. I don't know. Okay, well, since my dad can't come on the show this week, I'll try to see if I can get him on the show next week. I'll have to do a test with him and see if I can teach him how to do this, and we can figure it out so that it works. And I'll see if he has time next week. And if so, then you get to see him next week, hopefully. We at least had our first guest. Julia was our very first guest on the Effortless English show. That worked well. So this is something I want to do as we go forward on the Effortless English show. I want to have more and more guests. You guys get to listen to me talk all the time. I think it will be interesting for you to hear some of our members talk about their success stories, and I think also interesting for you to just listen to other guests who are native English speakers, my family members, my friends, people like that. All right, well, since my dad can't come, let's go to our most popular part of the show, which is Twitter questions. Ding, 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 Twitter questions. Ding, 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 Twitter questions. All right, so this is the part where if you want to ask me a question, you go on Twitter. My Twitter is twitter.com/ajhoge, my name. And what you do is you put little @ajhoge when you're logged into Twitter. You write @ajhoge, and then you write your question. So what I do is I just read through all the questions coming into my Twitter account, and I just pick some and answer them. A lot of questions come in during the show, so I can't answer all of them, but I'll do my best to answer some. So let me just look now at my Twitter feed. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so first of all, people saying the audio and video are working. Good job. Thank you for telling me that. Okay, here's a good question. I like this. This is a nice question. The Twitter name is very hard for me to pronounce, so it's a Zibing, oh God, I don't know, ZBIGNIEWTH robot. That's the Twitter name. The question is this. It's a very good question. Why didn't you mention psychology in your 7 rules? My email course, my free email course starts with the 7 rules of Effortless English. And I don't talk about psychology in those 7 rules. According to your Power English intro, this is one of the most important factors. So according to Power English, psychology is one of the most important factors, and it is. So why didn't I talk about that in those first 7 emails? It's an excellent question, and there's actually a very good reason for it. It's basically because people who join that 7-rule course, that is usually their introduction to Effortless English. It's the very first thing they learn about Effortless English. So a lot of times when people come to my website and they join the 7 rules, they really don't know anything about Effortless English. And they're just looking for a way to improve their speaking. So the first thing I want to teach them, and the first thing I want to talk about to them, these totally new people, is English and the specific English learning method we have. Because that's what they're focused on first. When someone comes to our site for the first time, usually that's the first thing they want. How do I learn English faster? How do I improve my speaking faster? And so we give them the method first, the motor part of the Effortless English engine. You know, we have the fuel, the gas, and the motor for the engine. Well, the motor part, those are the rules. It's the method. That's the part that's easiest for most people to understand. Why? Because coming from school, that's what they were taught all the time in school. So the first thing I teach them is, these methods you learned in school were wrong. You need to learn in a different way. You don't need to study grammar rules. They don't help you. You need to focus on listening, not reading textbooks. You need to learn from real English, not from textbooks. And so once they understand all of that stuff, how the method is different, then they're kind of, they get more excited. They're more open to new ideas. Then in later emails in the course, then I start to talk about psychology. But if I talk about psychology first, I think a lot of people get confused. Why are you talking about psychology? I want to know about English, right? So they're coming for English, so I give them the method first. I explain the method first, the English learning method. Then I introduce the psychology. It's just a way to introduce it. I think it works better. It helps more people understand the system. So good question. So again, Twitter. Oh, they're coming in fast. Here we go. Okay, no, I'm not gonna answer that. Okay, thanks for the show. Helps out. Okay, good. Some said you cannot perform language fully. I mean, okay, this is a great question. This is another common question. Okay, so Sultan Al-Latwi 200 is the Twitter name. Hi, Jay. Some people say you cannot acquire a foreign language fully, like a native speaker. Is this true? No, it's not true. And first of all, I should say that question. What most people say is clearly is that they say as an adult. Clearly, children can do this easily. If you take a small child from Japan and you take them to America, they will learn to speak English perfectly, just like a native speaker. But what the debate is about, what the arguments about sometimes are adults. Is it possible for an adult, take an adult Japanese person who doesn't know English, bring them to the United States, for example, is it possible for them to learn to speak English and like an American? What does that mean, like an American? Meaning, if they talk to other Americans, that the other Americans would think they were born in America. Is that possible? It's absolutely possible. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Why? Why do we know this? Because we know people have done it. There's a guy named Jerry Lim, is it? No, Jerry Dai. I'm sorry, Jerry Dai. I forgot his name. Jerry Dai, guy came from China, from Hong Kong when he was an adult, 20-something years old. Came to Canada, I believe, and learned to speak English. He sounds like a Canadian. When I hear him speak, he sounds Canadian to me, or he sounds North American, I should say. Because Canadian accent and American accent are very, very close. If I didn't know his story, and I just heard him on YouTube talking, I would think, oh, he's an American. So clearly it's possible. He's not the only one. Others have done it. It's not easy, however. The problem that most adults have when learning a foreign language is pronunciation. That's usually the toughest part. Because definitely adults can learn the grammar and the vocabulary, the speaking and the understanding like a native speaker, certainly. There are plenty of examples. Many people have done it. We know this is possible. The pronunciation part, however, is the toughest for adults. For children, no problem. Now, some professors will say, oh, this is because children have some special part in their brain that changes, which I think is totally bullshit. Again, it's bullshit because there are examples. There are some adults that can do it and have done it. Another theory, and I think this is the one that's true, is that it's psychology. Is that adults have an identity. They have a connection to their home country, to their home culture. And for them, it feels weird to sound exactly like an American, to sound exactly like a British person. They feel like they're changing their personality or something. And so psychologically, they hold on to their native accent a little bit. That's what I believe. Oh, my dad joined. Wow, he did it. All right, let's see if we can get him on here. Okay, 1 second. Okay. We're going to interrupt the questions because I think my dad's on here. Hello, Dad. Are you there? Okay, let me see. I need to unmute him. Okay, he's here. Okay, 1 sec, Dad. Almost here. You might need to unmute yourself. There's a little microphone icon there. If you press it, it should. See, I might be able to do it. See, you're on the broadcast. Hello. Sorry, 1 second. I think my dad's going to be on the show here. Just a second. Just got to figure this out. I see him on my thing. Hello?
I unmuted.
You did it. You're here.
All right. Hello.
Welcome to the show. And I was hoping you were going to be able to join. That's great.
Yeah. This is super. Glad to be here. You're an hour earlier than you told me, but that's okay.
Oh, am I really? Oh, no.
Not a problem. Have you been going on very long?
No, not too long. I didn't realize that it was an hour. Oh, I guess I got my time zones wrong.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Everything's good. Everything's good. You got lots of folks on today?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we got a bunch. I have to check YouTube later, but we usually get I have 40,000 YouTube subscribers, so we have a lot.
Okay. Good, good.
So you're in Georgia, right? No?
I am in Georgia, and it's cold in Georgia. Wrong time of year. This is affecting my golf game terribly.
It's cold in Japan too.
Yeah, is it? Okay. Well, I'm ready for springtime. We're ready to get going. But we're looking forward to a big year this year.
Yeah, I was telling people a little bit about, the history, how we recorded the business English lessons, and how you came out to Hawaii, and we did that. And I mentioned that we're thinking of doing another course now soon.
Yep. Yeah, well, as you know, I sent you some material. It's mostly, hold on one second. I got a dog that's going crazy here. I'm going to shut a door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a dog interruption here.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry about that. The little
It's
one
okay.
got loose. Yeah, I think we've got some good stuff to add to the business English conversations for this year. Going to add a few videos to our blog, just some short, simple topics, subjects, things to help people more than anything in their personal and professional life. And then we're working on a whole new set of lessons. I think that I'm really excited about. It's a lot of it's a management-based lessons, but it's also very, very useful material for employee development, personal development. It's useful in people's business life, whether they're in the corporate world or they're an entrepreneur. And it's just really useful in their personal life with their family, their friends, and everything else. So a lot of good stuff. Plus the fact, hopefully I'll get to go to maybe San Francisco. Huh? Is that where we're going to do this?
Let's record them in San Francisco.
All right, that's an added benefit. That always helps.
Yeah, I think we'll probably be going to San Francisco in around March, I think. So yeah, we'll figure it, and we'll be there through the summer. So we'll figure out a time.
Good. Pick some time where the weather's semi-decent.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think there's some good stuff there, and it's a lot of material. I sent you that stuff, and a lot of phrases and words that just look at them. They don't make much sense, but I know that you understand them, and I know other people will understand them. It's just that we're going to present some basic business concepts, business models in a little different way than what people are used to seeing them, and hopefully present them in a way that they will absorb, remember, and be able to go forward and use in their daily lives. So I'm excited about this program.
Yeah, I am too, and I like the idea of focusing on management. I mean, I just think management skills are, I think, the thing that really can separates people in their careers. That lets you sort of rise up, especially if you're in a company, because your technical skills will take you to a certain level, but then to keep going beyond that level, it's really about management and leadership, usually.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is, and leadership, that's another key word you used there, that it's really important. And it's important to move up the chain of command, if you will, in the business. And it's important as an entrepreneur to be able to develop those management skills, those leadership skills, even if there's just a handful of people working for you. It's critical to understand, for one thing, as a manager, to accept the things that you don't know how to do, or you're not very good at, or you just flat out don't want to do them, and be able to find the proper resources, whether it's people or outsourcing or whatever it is, that can do those things so that you as an entrepreneur can do the thing that you do best. Now, I always pick on the accountants, but a lot of entrepreneurs aren't very good accountants, which is understandable because it's not real exciting to me either. But it's a critical part of a business, and so many businesses, small businesses, fail because of something simple like cash flow, not doing a very good job with their cash flow, messing up with their taxes, all of that administrative detail stuff. That's just one example. Others are where an entrepreneur is a fantastic marketeer, salesman, got all the pizzazz and knows all of those things, but can't produce a product. Got all kinds of great ideas, but doesn't know how to produce it. So, they need to be able to draw on management, leadership type skills to find the people that can do those things to help make their business go forward. And of course, the same is true in the corporate world. That if you're going to move up the chain, you need to, jettison your, get rid of your basic thought process on how you do business and start thinking like a manager. And there's a big difference. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. There's some good stuff. There's only 150 models, so we'll have lots to talk about.
We got several years more material.
Oh yeah.
We should do a teleseminar for our current business English conversation members too. We haven't done one of those in a while.
No, we haven't. We've had a few of them on Facebook asking about that, and good idea. I think we need to chat with those folks and let them know that we got some more stuff coming and find out what's going on in their worlds too.
What's our next topic for that? Do you know?
I knew you were going to ask, and I forgot to bring my little sheet.
I don't remember either. Wow.
I can't remember. I have to look at. I got my little cheat sheet in the other room. I can't remember what it is. We finished
job searching, right? We finished all the interviews and resumes and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think we're done with all that. So it's into some of the, I guess, technical aspects of business, either finance or marketing, or I'm not sure exactly which one's next.
I see. So what are you doing for fun in Georgia? I guess you're not playing golf. It's too cold.
Not too much. I'm going to try on Tuesday. I've been kind of laid up. I had a little surgery on my shoulder up here. 5-inch cut, and they sewed me back together and caused a little bit of pain because the muscles got pulled back together. It took a big chunk out of my shoulder. And so that's working out good, and I'm scheduled to try to play golf on Tuesday morning. So it's gonna be a little chilly, but I got to get back out there. Other than that, we're trying to get this this new home put together. Hung up pictures all day yesterday, and I get curtains and stuff to hang up in the next few days. So, and we still got a garage to clean out. So we're trying to get settled in our new home, but we're having fun.
Well, good. It's good talking to you. And I'm so sorry about the time mix-up. My fault.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad I could join you guys.
Well, thank you. I'll have you on the show again sometime.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Yep. Talk to you soon. Have fun playing golf soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. So that was my dad. Yay, we got my dad on, and it was my fault. I feel terrible. I told him the wrong time. So he's in Georgia, not the country, the state in the United States, near Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm in Japan, and I get time zones confused sometimes, and I guess I got the wrong time zone for him. So my apologies to my dad. But I'm glad we got him on. That was great. So we had our first two guests this week. Yay! And I'll have my dad on again, definitely, in the future. Certainly, we'll talk more about business English. He likes golf. He talk about golf for Georgia. Well, maybe I'll have a talk with him about American sports, because he likes sports, especially American football. That's a good little cultural thing that's quite different in the United States, different than other parts of the world, because our football is a little bit different than the rest of the world's, which we call soccer. All right, back to Twitter. Let's see what else we got. Let's see the other questions. I'll answer a few more questions before we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, okay, here's a good book question. Okay, Max Gualtieri says, hello. What has been your most useful book and most important author? This is hard. I read a lot of books. This question is difficult. Probably my favorite book or author changes a lot, but one of my favorites, usually my answer to this question would be Walden by Henry David Thoreau, which is written back in 1860, I think, 1860, something like that, before the American Civil War. So quite a while ago. But I think it's a wonderful book. Now, it's a little tough to read because it's old. The language is a bit different than modern English, modern American English. So a lot of people find Walden difficult to read. Even some Americans find Walden and Thoreau difficult to read. So, you know, more recent, I like the Tao Te Ching. That's a Chinese book, which has many different English translations. There's an English book called the Tao of Pooh, Tao with a T, T-A-O, Tao of Pooh, if you pronounce it that way. But those are kind of philosophy, Taoist kind of philosophy type books. In terms of something useful, like very practical, I don't know. I mean, what, for business? For business, maybe something like The 4-Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss. Yeah, maybe something like that. Okay, so anyway, those are some of my favorite books. I like Hemingway too, The Old Man and the Sea. That's a great story. Just read an article about Hemingway recently. I think I'm going to read some more of his books. And like Jack Kerouac. Jack Kerouac, American writer, wrote in the 50s and 60s, and maybe even the 40s. And he wrote The Dharma Bums and On the Road and a bunch of other books. So he's right up there with my favorites as well. Okay, let's see. Here's another question from Sergen Tunker, Sergen-Tuncer. He says, when I read an English novel at the same time, should I listen to the audio file? Is that the right method? Yes, that's a great method. You don't have to, but listening to the audio as you read is perfectly great, especially if you can read at that same speed as the audio and you can understand. Another option is you can read a chapter first, then go back and then read and listen at the same time to the same chapter again. Deep learning. So you could do each chapter twice. One time just reading, the second time listening and reading. So there are different methods. You can play with it, but overall, listening to audiobooks as you read, yes, it's a great method, especially when you use easy novels. Let's see. Thank you, awesome AJ Superstar. Julia, good. Yes, thank you very much. How can I get okay, here's a good question. This relates to the question we had earlier about accent and learning as an adult. How can I get a perfect American accent? This is from Virtaeetu. Virtaetu? How can I get a perfect American accent? Well, you know, as I said, for adults, accent pronunciation is probably the toughest thing. It's usually the last thing you'll focus on. I think Julia gave some good tips about that. You know, you listen to my lessons. First you listen and you get the meaning and the understanding and all of that. And then after several more times, eventually you focus on pronunciation. You could pause after each sentence and then copy my pronunciation. And when you copy pronunciation, you know, you copy the tone, copy the emotion. If you're watching a video, like one of my YouTube videos, you can even copy my face, my facial expressions and my hands. You can listen and copy how I'm breathing even. And it's just repetition. If you don't want to speak like me, you just choose any actor, any movie, and pick a scene from a movie and copy the actor's pronunciation or actresses. And so it's that kind of repetition. Now for the psychological part of accent, which is also important, you have to, I recommend you kind of create a second identity almost, where you kind of like a second personality. You say, okay, this is my American personality, and when I'm speaking English, I'm going to be this sort of American personality, and so I'm going to act more American. You know, Americans have big expressions more, we're a little more enthusiastic. You know, it's different than each country has this. Japanese, I live in Japan, and Japanese people have a very different kind of, even with not just the language, just the way they act, the way they use their hands, the way they use their face, the sounds they make in Japan are different. And what happens is when a Japanese person learns English, they keep that other stuff. So they're speaking English, but they're using a Japanese rhythm. They speak English, but they're using Japanese facial expressions and Japanese hand expressions, which are much smaller and less than an American would use. And And so they're using Japanese pauses and breathing pattern. And so that's usually what the cause of the pronunciation problems are, and why sometimes people can't understand them. They go to America and people have trouble understanding them. It's because they're speaking English in this with all these other Japanese things. So you have to develop a kind of an American, or if you prefer Canadian or British, whatever, second personality. They just think of it like you're an actress or an actor and you have a character. And this is your English-speaking character. And it's kind of fun, actually, because you get to play around and develop and play with a whole different personality if you want to. So, like I like to, I don't speak much Japanese at all, but when I do, I like to pretend I'm a Japanese samurai actor. It just makes it more fun. Helps my pronunciation a little bit too. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's go to this instance. Hello, Jay. I joined your email course and listening to your videos at the same time. Okay, this is I've had this question a few times too. So I've joined your email course. I'm listening to your videos and stories. At the same time, can I learn another language? So in addition to English, learn another foreign language. I mean, can you? Yes, you can. Definitely. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. It's basically just a matter of time. It just makes sense, right? You're going to learn English more slowly. Let's imagine you have 2 hours per day to listen to audios. Total, morning, night, during your breaks. You have 2 hours. Well, if you use 2 hours a day just for English, then, you'll learn fairly quickly. But if let's say you split that time, so you learn English for 1 hour and then you learn Spanish for the second hour during that day. Will you learn both of them? Yes, you will, but at half the speed, right? Your English improvement will become slower because you're getting only half the listen each day. So if that's fine, you don't mind that, then yeah, it's just up to you. You'll kind of learn both at the same time. Each one will be a little more slow. It'll be a little more, you'll learn each more slowly than if you focus on one. But yeah, you can do it. Definitely you can do it. And with languages like English and Spanish, there are actually a lot of common words, so that could actually, help a little bit. Okay, let's go for another Twitter question. And then, I think it's about time for us to end soon, right? A couple more Twitter questions. Keep them coming. Okay, AJ, can you please make courses for people who have zero English ability so they can learn with your system? I think most of your courses are intermediate level and above. This is true. This is from Beira Minak. I've thought about doing this, in fact, yes. Currently, all of our Effortless English courses are for intermediate and advanced level learners. Maybe a high beginner could use our lessons if they were disciplined, but mostly they're designed for intermediate and above. The reason for that is simple, and it's really a business reason. If I make zero level English courses, very, very, very low level, number one, to sell those lessons means that I have to sell those lessons using lots of different languages. Right? Because they can't read my website in English if they're zero level. So that means I need to make a Spanish language page, and maybe a Chinese language page, and a Japanese language page, whatever. That's fine. That's easy to do. I can easily pay someone to do that. The problem is that if someone who's a low beginner has a problem, maybe they're having trouble downloading the files, they have some other question or problem, we can't afford, I can't pay, 10 different people who speak 10 different languages to do customer support, to do member support, right? So if someone who speaks Spanish, for example, gets a zero level course, they know zero English, and they have a problem, well, then they're going to email us in Spanish asking for help. And then my Spanish is not good enough to help them, and no one on our team right now can speak Spanish well enough to help them. So I would have to hire someone who knows Spanish. And then, of course, probably wouldn't only focus on Spanish learners. So if a person wrote in Portuguese, then I need someone who can speak Portuguese. What if they wrote in Russian? I need someone who speaks Russian. What if they wrote in Chinese? They need Chinese. So Could I do it? Maybe in the future. I might think about this if our business grows big enough where I could have customer support for several languages. But until then, it's not fair. It's not fair to people who buy if they can't get customer support. It's just, so that's the main reason. But we'll see. Maybe in the future. What I might do, an easier solution would maybe make just easier lessons, more like the flow English level, you know, like high beginner. I may do that in the future. Okay, let's see. Let's go to our next questions. Okay. Okay. Alki Swani Isa says, I created a second identity when I speak English. I keep telling people my mother is American in order to convince, or keep telling myself maybe that my mother is American in order to convince my psychology, convince my brain. Yeah, why not? Exactly. You know, it's like an actor plays a character. You know, some actors they're really serious if they have a character. You know, they think like that person and they make a history for their character. And they talk differently, they act differently, they think differently, right? They really go deep into this other character. And you can do that with this. You could develop your own American character, and you could even decide where they were born, what state they're from. Are they from California? Are they from New York? Are they from Florida? And you could even discover, like, what are the accents, because each of those accents is a little different. You know, you can play around with it. You can give them a job, a different job than you have, a different personality, whatever you want to do. And then, like an actor, you could develop that character, and you could develop their way of speaking and acting and their way of moving, all of which would be different than your normal way of doing it in your own language, in your own culture. I think it's a great idea. It's fun. It's just, think of it as being playful. It's just playful. It's fun. And it's a fun way to explore speaking English. And then when you bring another character, then you can be, you know, one of the best ways to improve your pronunciation is to exaggerate the American accent. And people feel weird about this. They think they're playing, or they're making fun of it, or it feels strange. Oh, this is weird, right? But you could just exaggerate. Hi, I'm AJ, and I'm an American. How you doing? You know, you could really exaggerate it. You make it stronger and stronger, and you get rid of your own old accent. Why not? Julia's heard this story, but when I learned Italian for about 1 month because I had going to Rome for a trip for a week, and I learned a few phrases basically. But when I was practicing these phrases and learning them in my car, I did this. I developed this Italian kind of personality character. And in my car, I would listen to Italian lessons, and I would really exaggerate, kind of from all these movies I've seen. You know, like what's the guy's name? Roberto Benigni, I think it's his name. You know, he's really that crazy Italian comedian. So I like him, and so I would kind of copy him, and he would be my character. And so I would practice, you know, I would really exaggerate the pronunciation, exaggerate my hand movements, and yeah, and it was great. I actually had a chance to speak Italian a little bit in Rome, and the only problem is that my accent was probably higher than my ability, my listening and understanding. So people heard me say a few phrases. They didn't think I was Italian, of course. They knew I was American, but because I could say the phrases fairly well at that time, and the pronunciation was a little better than normal, they thought I could understand more, and they would start talking to me, and then I couldn't understand them at all. So it kind of works. If I'd continued doing that, you know, I probably would have continued improving. Okay, 2 more questions, and then we're finished for the show. Our next KR That Shine asks, what about your book? I can't wait. I didn't mention it. I'm writing, this time I didn't mention it, but I'm writing a book. Progress is slow. Right now I've been working on the editing of the film, so I haven't worked much. The editor is really doing a lot of the work now. We're just taking all the stuff I've already written and organizing it. So it's mostly, this book is it's pretty much written from all the things I've already written, and it's just a matter of getting it all organized, and I've got an editor working on that now. So again, probably later in the year, my book will be ready. Okay, finally a question that's not about English. Gilmani asks, happy to see you again. I have a question. Which do you prefer, American or British films? And thanks. So there's a question about movies and films. Well, I like both. Depends. I like British actors better, I have to say. especially those older British actors, something about them. Bill Nye, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Judi Dench, um, Ralph Fiennes, those Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, those kind of Shakespearean actors. I don't know. They have a kind of, their voices are always, they get that voice training because those actors learn on the stage. They usually come from the theater and Shakespearean theater a lot of times. Derek Jacobi, and so there's something about those British actors that I really love. But in terms of just movies, directors and movies, it depends. I like British and American movies. Just depends on the movie. Okay, so I guess that's all for today. So we've talked about a lot of questions today about accent and pronunciation, which is interesting. It's good we get to talk about that. I don't talk about that a lot, so very good. Well, same time next week for the Effortless English show. I'll see if I can find another guest. I'd love to have Kristen and Joe from Learn Real English, but this time is too early for them because it's 6 a.m. or something in San Francisco right now, and they don't like getting up that early. So probably not Kristen and Joe, but I'll see if I can find any other friends or family members or other people to join next week. And on my Twitter account, I'll announce who the guests will be. I'm also going to see if we can get maybe Barbel from Germany, one of our superstar VIP members, and see if she has time. If she doesn't have time, I'll see if I can find another VIP member to join us next week. Thank you so much. As usual, continue improving. Just to summarize our courses again, people always ask, which courses should I do? I don't know. Generally, the one to start with is the free email course on our website, effortlessenglishclub.com. After that, usually I recommend Power English. That is sold on our homepage, effortlessenglishclub.com. You can also add the VIP program to that if you're very motivated. The VIP program is for our most motivated members. Not necessarily the most advanced, but the most serious, the most motivated. The ones that are really serious about our mission, most excited. That's our VIP members. You can probably see from Julia. That's the kind of person that joins our VIP program. And then we have Learn Real English, and that's a different website, learnrealenglish.com. That's casual English, slang, idioms, a little bit more difficult than Power English. And then if you're interested in business English, then my dad and I have the course Business English Conversations with an S, businessenglishconversations.com, and that's business English. There are more courses coming, but that's what we have for now. So keep improving, jump in. They're all good courses. I think you'll enjoy any of them. So finally, let me just close again. Remember our code, right? We do our best. We do the right thing. We show each other we care. And our mission, to explore new opportunities for growth, to bring confidence, vitality, and happiness to people all over the world, to boldly go where we have never gone before. That's it. Please spread the word. Tell other people about the Effortless English show and about Effortless English. Put it on Twitter and Facebook. This is how we grow. The schools and the textbook companies, they have billions and billions of dollars. They have huge governments supporting them and pushing their horrible methods. And Effortless English, we just have you. So if you know a friend or family member who wants to learn English better, or if you have followers on Twitter or Facebook, link to our webpage, tell other people about it, and let's keep pushing with our mission, because we're all in it together. We're a crew now, right? Think of a ship's crew, a film crew. It's a team working together with this shared mission, and we can only do it if we work together. Thank you so much. I will see you same time next week, I believe. Oh, I'm going to Thailand actually soon. Yes, same time next week. The following week on the 26th, probably no show because I'll be in Thailand doing a photography workshop. But I'll let you know next week about that. But next week, the 19th, we will have episode 4, same time. So see you then. Thank you so much. Mwah! I love you all. Thank you, Effortless English crew. See you again. Bye for now.